I never imagined one careless moment could unravel the person I loved. I didn't walk into that dim little bar planning to hurt anyone. I wasn't looking for trouble or excitement or escape. But sometimes all it takes is a tired heart, a strong drink, and the wrong words spoken to the wrong ear. I'm Clara, 36. And up until that evening I truly believed my marriage could weather anything. I thought my husband and I were steady enough. I** was steady enough to keep us safe. Daniel and I had been married 8 years. He wasn't flashy, not the kind of man who commanded attention when he entered a room. But he was dependable, patient, the kind of presence that calmed storms instead of stirring them. He loved predictability. Our Friday grocery runs, the way he always filled my car's gas tank when he noticed it low, how he folded every blanket precisely because things stay together longer when the edges line up. I used to tease him for it. But routines turned into quiet. Quiet turned into disconnect. And eventually I didn't know what we were anymore. Only that he still loved me with a gentle devotion I had never questioned. Then came that Friday. My co-workers insisted I join them for a night out because, Clara, you're running on fumes. I didn't want to go, but exhaustion made agreeing easier than refusing. I ordered a bourbon cocktail, something I never drank. It felt like the kind of choice someone braver, bolder, less worn out than me would make. Across the table was Leo, a colleague I barely knew. Loud enough to fill silence, confident enough to make strangers feel like friends. And that night I wanted to feel noticed. I knew that. I can't pretend I didn't. He asked casually, "How's married life?" A normal question. But something inside me cracked, and instead of the polite answer I'd given 100 times, something raw slipped out. "It's fine," I said, spinning the straw in my drink. "Just boring. You know how it gets." Leo smirked. "Boring? You don't strike me as someone who wants boring." I should have brushed it off. I should have deflected. But tired people say things they shouldn't, and lonely people confess things they don't fully understand. So I looked him in the eyes and said the sentence that would later shatter my husband. "I think I married the man who felt safest. Not the man who ever really thrilled me." It wasn't fair. It wasn't kind. And the worst part. A tiny part of me feared it had been true once. Leo didn't react much. Just shrugged. Happens to a lot of people. We talked maybe 15 minutes more. Nothing intimate, nothing flirtatious, but enough for my words to linger in the air long after I left. I didn't think it mattered. I went home expecting nothing more than sleep. But when I walked through the door, Daniel was sitting on the couch in silence. No TV, no book, just him staring at the floor. I greeted him softly, but when he lifted his head, his expression chilled my blood. Not anger, not suspicion, just emptiness, like something in him had dissolved. "I heard you," he said quietly. "Everything you said tonight." My heart stopped. I felt the room tilt. "I went to surprise you," he whispered. "I was at the bar." My legs nearly gave out. Not because I'd been caught, but because I saw the exact second a man realizes he may never have been enough for the woman he loves. I stammered something, anything, but he shook his head. "It sounded like the truth, Clara." I stepped toward him. He pulled back, not physically, but in a way that made the air between us suddenly feel miles wide. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't blaming. He was breaking. "You tell strangers things you're afraid to tell me," he whispered. "I thought we were doing all right. I thought I mattered to you." Tears burned my eyes because Daniel wasn't perfect, but he was good, the kind of good that didn't bruise easily. And if he broke, it was because I handed him the pieces. "I didn't mean it," I begged. He gave a hollow, painful laugh. "Some part of you did." He stood slowly, like someone who'd finally realized that hope had limits. "I need space," he said. "Not forever, just to breathe." I reached for him. He stepped back. That tiny movement sliced deeper than any argument ever could. He picked up his keys. Before leaving, he looked at me one last time and said a sentence that will live with me forever. "I know I wasn't the thrilling choice, but I loved you harder than anyone ever could." I just didn't know you regretted choosing me. Then the door closed. The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was punishment. And I had crafted it myself. He didn't come home that night. Or the next. He texted once. Asterisk, I'm safe. I just need time. Asterisk. I stared at our house differently after that. Every room felt like a bruise. Every memory was a reminder of how deeply he'd loved and how carelessly I'd wounded him. A few days later he returned. Not to reconcile but to talk. He looked tired. Softer somehow but worn down. We need to figure out what happens next, he said, sitting across from me. Asterisk, not asterisk, beside me. I forgive you, he said. But forgetting, I don't know if I can. And I don't know if you can unthink what you said. My chest tightened. I want us, I whispered. He held my gaze with heartbreaking sincerity and asked, do you want me, Clara? Or do you want the comfort I've always given you? For once, I didn't have an answer. And he understood everything in that silence. We can try counseling, he said softly. But just know, you didn't hurt my ego. You shook my certainty. I'm not sure I was ever your first choice. That was when I finally broke. Truly broke. We didn't split. We didn't magically fix everything. We drifted into a fragile space between rebuilding and falling apart. Some days felt hopeful. Others felt doomed. But one truth stays carved into me. You can break a good man without touching him. All it takes is a thoughtless sentence spoken to someone who never should have heard it. And I spoke mine.